seconds ago, because the last I heard, you were having a little trouble getting into town, and I had a feeling that you weren't going to, I didn't know that you were going to be here until somebody said, oh yeah, they're over there. Oh, okay. So it's a pleasant surprise for me to see you here. Thank you very much.
Are these on? Can you guys hear us?
Well, welcome to the party, everybody, and this is a great party indeed, so I'll tell you what, Brandon, you were kind of a late addition to the plan here, because we had the other guests already set up, and everybody was extremely excited about seeing everybody, and then, I don't know, it was sort of this little spark that happened when your name got mentioned, and I'll tell you, even when, you know, I work with the chamber a little bit here, and I tried to get them to tell me, they said, oh, we got a big announcement coming up, something special, something real important, and I'm saying, oh, you can tell me. They wouldn't even tell me, but you could just tell in their voice, they're real excited about you being here, and I think, you know, everybody. Relatively informal. We're going to have a lot of fun. We've got a lot of questions out here, I'm sure. He brought his own paparazzi along here. Now, speaking of him, play the role. Well, Brendan, let's start.
I really wanted to play Jimmy Olsen. Yeah.
I understand it was actually.
We were originally
taken
for each other's roles, and I don't know what happened.
Now, I mean, it's so obvious to all of us when we got the announcement that you were cast in the role. We saw the initial pictures of the U.S. Clark and as Superman. Yep, that's the guy, all right. But for you, how long was it from the first time that you heard about the audition to when you finally found out? Because
it was about 6 or 7 months. My first initial inkling about the movie, I just auditioned for another TV show, actually, that Mick G, who was the then director, his producing partner saw me and thought maybe I had a good look for Superman, which he was doing, and mentioned me to him, and that kind of got the meeting, and then through a lot of change, 7 months later, finally I got the role.
Was it like a painful 7 months? Was it like
yes.
birth? You know,
yes, because I screen tested once for Mick G along with I think 4 or 5 other guys, and then when news came that he was no longer on the project, it seemed like it was falling away. And so to be this close, and then to have it all go away was kind of heartbreaking. But then a month and a half later, it was resurrected by Bryan Singer, and thankfully, and you know,
here we are.
Yeah.
I'm assuming you were totally insane when you got the news. I mean, you can tell us, we're all friends here.
I was more relieved than anything. It was just such a, you know, a lot of people were rooting for me and my family and stuff, and you don't want to disappoint anybody after all that big build-up. Yeah, I was in the producer's office actually, and got the call. Just waiting for the call, just kind of that last little nail in the coffin, I guess, to finalize it. And so then I called my mom and dad, and my mom screamed. And, yeah, so they did all the screaming.
Okay, that's good. As long as they're screaming involved, I'm good with that. Okay. We're gonna go ahead and open up to some questions as well. I don't suppose anybody has any questions for any of these guys. Oh, what do you know? Our lovely Supergirl is going to be whooshing around here with a microphone to help out. So, hey, what? We got this gentleman with the gentleman with the Superman shirt over here. Put it down a little bit.
My question is directed to you, Brandon. What was it like putting the suit on for the first time?
Well, that's an interesting question because I haven't thought about this before, but I actually wore another version of the suit before I wore the version Superman Returns. There was a Mick G suit. And so that was really my first time in a Superman suit. And that was a bizarre thing because it was kind of like a really plasticky prototype that they really rushed it. And I put it on and they left me and I'm just standing in a room going, okay. What do I do now? So I sat down and picked up a magazine. My legs crossed, sitting there reading a magazine, going, "This is the strangest thing in the world." So it was a little shocking, kind of awe-inspiring.
So what were the differences in the suit? Because
they were dramatic. Yeah. I mean, that suit was really just a prototype, and it was about that thick, and it was a material that didn't really move. It was just crunchy and weird. This was what I ended up wearing was spandex skin. This gentleman knows, which was much more breathable.
So, as far as comfort in the suit, you were okay for the most part? Even with the flying?
For the most part, the flying was really challenging because I had a harness on, and so the harness and everything else kind of made the whole suit a big rubber band. So raising my arm, being vertical, horizontal.
Just you're going straight up, then it would be perfect.
Being horizontal, and having to raise your arm, having all the weight of the suit kind of stretched against you was a bit of a challenge, but you know.
All right, let's go for another question on the audience here. Let's get somebody over on this side. How about right up in the front row here?
Okay, this question is for all three of you. So you guys have all played many different characters. So I was wondering, what was your most challenging role and why?
There was this role I played in high school in a play. No, just kidding. No, I mean, Superman, absolutely, hands down. Not only did I have to learn to fake fly and all the process of that, but to really look like I was actually flying, and uphold an amazing legacy, and hopefully make everybody.
I actually think that we were in the car recently, Brennan and his wife and my wife and I, and we were all listening to the Frank Sinatra station.
Frank Sinatra.
And we were all saying, what was it? You had a funny story. It was like you were driving along and you were driving, I think it was when you were on the East Coast.
No, it was when I was getting married. We were driving up to get married, and we realized we'd been listening to the Frank Sinatra channel for an hour, and we're like, when did we start listening to Frank Sinatra? But it's very soothing on long drives.
It also puts a baby to sleep.
Yeah.
So how's that? You got Brandon and Sam with their wives. How's that for a double date? That's pretty cool. Okay, another question. Let's work our way back in the room a little bit here. Head on back in that direction. We've got this gentleman back over here with his, I'm assuming it's a Superman hat, but he definitely has got the Superman hat still on.
This is from Fred Durrell. I love Superman, it's my favorite show, and I'm a friend. And Superman returns, and when you have the kryptonite, with that Luthor, did that feel pain in your back? You read that, was that like a trick or something?
What about the kryptonite when it's in my bag?
When he stabbed you in the back, did that hurt real bad?
Did it hurt? Oh, did it actually hurt?
Yeah.
No. Because what they did is he had a little piece of it that had like you only see the back end, like a stabbed with a sword, but it's only this part sticking out. So it was just this, And what hurt about that scene was is we did that, and it's water in that scene that I'm kind of sloshing through, and that water was so cold. And we did that scene, and plus it's a traumatic scene. I'm getting, my butt whooped, and we had to do it about 8 times, and it was just, being submerged in water and joking and really trying to act like I'm getting killed. So that was a tough scene. That was one of the hardest things to shoot in the movie, actually. Yeah.
Toughest day on the set, was it?
Yeah.
Because I can imagine the wire work and stuff like that. I mean, once you kind of get into the rhythm and everything, did you kind of?
Yeah. That if in the 10th hour of this,
It's a little old, right?
Yeah, but at least I was warm. So.
Was there a learning curve on the wire stuff? I mean,
There was a big learning curve. I had a great movement coach, a guy named Terry Notary, and he used to work with Cirque du Soleil, and he did the Apes and the previous Planet of the Apes, not the new ones coming out, and a lot of other movies that involve movement, a specific movement. And so we worked a long time creating the choreography. Different moves and giving them names, using my swimming background, because I really felt that added a fluid motion to the flight. So once we did that, I felt, I could feel when I was in the right position and my body was straight and all those things.
Very good. Okay, how about some more questions? What do we got?